In May 1879, the Stillwater Messenger noted, "Ground was broken this week preparatory to the erection of a handsome and expensive residence by E.L. Hersey on his lots on Pine Street between 5th and 6th. When completed, it will be one of the finest mansions in our city." That same month, his older brother Roscoe purchased lots nearby on 4th South. This is an impressive home, one of the largest in Stillwater, with its striking multi-layered tower, the detailed two-story bay on the front, the varied roof line, and the wide chimney. The wraparound porch, we know, was added later. We're not sure why, but Edward and Mary Hersey only lived in the house for 1 year, and in early 1881 they sold it, with all the furniture, to business partner Jacob Bean. The couple promptly took off for a tour of Europe. Within the house, though, you can still see evidence of Hersey's brief ownership. In the upper hall, there is an elaborate fireplace cover with the initials E.H. carved into it. And if you look up to the tower, you'll see a weather vane emblazoned with the letter H. The home's new owner, Jacob Bean, had come west from Maine with his brother, much like Edward Hersey. But he began his career here without those wealthy family connections. First managing lumber camps and saving his money, then buying into the Hersey Company and eventually controlling a half interest. By 1883, when he purchased this home, Jacob was one of the leading lumber magnates in the country, with the St. Paul Daily Globe describing him as considerably more than half millionaire and one of the heaviest log dealers in the Northwest. With that money, Jacob and Cynthia traveled away from town to warmer climes, often spending their winters in California. In 1893, the Beans purchased 104 acres of land in Alhambra, 8 miles from Los Angeles, where Jacob plowed up the barley fields and planted acres of orange trees. One writer described his estate as one of the most beautiful and valuable properties in Southern California. Soon, boxcars loaded with oranges were being shipped across the country from the Bean orchards, and every year his friends in Stillwater received a crate. By 1900, though, Jacob was ready to step back from his responsibilities and signed over his Minnesota and Wisconsin properties to his children, worth millions at the time. Although Jacob and Cynthia spent most of the year in California, they returned to Stillwater for the marriage of their daughter Anne in the summer of 1901. The following summer, another daughter, Ella, held her wedding in the home, and one can almost picture the scene.
As the Lohengrin Wedding March was played by the Bluff City Mandolin Orchestra, the bridal party descended the stairs. The ceremony was impressive, held amid such beautiful surroundings, one would say ideal. The reception hall was artistically decorated in red and green, the dining room in pink and green, with a profusion of cut flowers everywhere.
Anne Bean Lehmicke continued to make this her home until her death in 1903, and her husband Albert lived here until 1957. One interesting note is that Jacob Bean's son, William, purchased a beautiful home at 306 West Olive Street at about the same time, and today those homes are two of Stillwater's finest bed and breakfast inns.